So today we had another weekly Warriors Den live stream, and this week's stream was pretty standard, but it gave us a bit to talk about, including a little sneak peek at the new Samurai Heavy hero, an update on the responsive dialogue system, and some matchmaking changes. So as usual, I'll be talking about everything I found important from the stream, so let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about today is this little teaser that UB gave us, showing off just a little bit of the new Samurai Heavy, and I really like what I'm seeing here. I couldn't tell you what sort of axe he's holding, but I can tell you that I like it. UB did mention that this year was going to be a lot darker than what we've seen before, so I'm guessing that this hero will be a bit on the edgy side like Blackprior, but I'm okay with that as long as the new hero has a cool backstory, and more importantly, great voice lines and style. Judging from this image, it looks like he won't be heavily armored and probably will be using a lot of cloth, and again, I'm fine with that as long as the designs are nice. I was sort of expecting a hero that was just a larger Kinsei in style, but it looks like they're going with something more unique and, dare I say, dark, with the dolls hanging off of his waist and the pile of skulls and smoke behind him. I honestly waited all day yesterday for a cinematic trailer, as last season we had got the Blackprior cinematic trailer at this time, and I think that's a really great way to get people excited rather than waiting to show us literally everything in one big live stream. I mean, I get it, but letting us get pumped up before the reveal is the better way to go in my opinion. You know, let us speculate and get prepared, as not everyone likes to wait around and watch a live stream, especially when next week is going to be packed with not only this, but MK11, Avengers, and maybe even Mordhau. In the image, he's holding the axe with one hand, but I don't think he'll be a one-handed hero like some are speculating. I think that's just a pose. I like that the axe is double-sided and can't wait to see what sort of playstyle this hero will have. Blackprior turned out to be pretty good despite having a pretty boring offense. I'm really hoping this hero is exciting to use and doesn't rely on just a couple of things. We all know that he'll have some sort of unique ability or gimmick like almost every other hero in this game, but since they're a heavy, I can't even begin to guess. As long as it's fun, I don't really care what it is. All I know is that this little teaser has me really excited for this upcoming hero. Next up is an update on the responsive dialogue system. Let me show you a quick clip.
So let's go. So update on the responsive dialogue system. So again this morning, someone asked me on Twitter, we've seen some questions recently about that, or an update on the system. You might remember we did an early test before Marching Fire came out where we tested that system. Based on the feedback in the early access, we had decided to put it on hold and evaluate the future of the feature. After taking the time to review it, we decided that the development time needed versus the impact on the gaming experience were simply not aligned. So our focus is instead being spent on upcoming seasons, events, and other features. So we'll continue to focus on improving your gameplay experience. So that is the news for the responsive dialogue system. I know you've been asking about that, so here you are, you have the update.
So in short, it's done for. We will not be getting the responsive dialogue system, which is a real shame as it would have been amazing to have. It only needed a few improvements. If you're new or weren't around, a while back when Marching Fire and the Wu Lin were being shown, UBS showed off their new responsive dialogue system, which was a whole bunch of new voice lines the heroes were going to get, and they would interact with each other and whatnot. It was an awesome concept, but the execution was not there. A lot of the voices didn't turn out well and didn't really fit with the current voices of the heroes, so there was a ton of backlash, and UB decided to push it back, but now it's cancelled, so we'll never get to see it. Instead, they'll be focusing on improving the game in other ways. In my opinion, it honestly would have been perfect if they could have just gotten all of the original voice actors back in, or at least actors who could imitate the current voices in some way, but oh well. Now on to matchmaking yet again. So as we all know, UB has been playing around with the matchmaking for a while now, testing things out to try and see which of their systems ended up giving players the best possible matches. The goal is to try to get players in matches within a reasonable time and have those matches be as even as possible. They don't want rep 300s stomping on some rep 4s. At the start of the current season, they shifted to just focusing on win-loss rather than win-loss and your bounty score, which I believe was where you placed in your matches, and it didn't really work out all too well, as some people had to wait extremely long for matches and the quality of the matches were lower. So they're going to be changing the way matchmaking works again at the start of Season 10. They'll be making changes that will hopefully result in higher quality matches. On top of this, they'll be resetting everyone's MMR again. So at the start of next season, don't expect perfect matches until things balance out. I'm all for any matchmaking change that reduces my queue times and doesn't pit me against rep 1100 4 stacks. In other news, Yubi showed off some of the tournaments with Mistress, and it looks like Yubi is still committed in trying to make competitive For Honor a thing, and I think that by hiring Clarissa or Mistress was a good move, as that's someone who has been invested in the For Honor tournament scene from the start, and I think that with having her there, that Yubi can really start heading in the right direction. Maybe they'll create an engaging ranked mode that everyone doesn't ignore, or finally bring us that spectator mode we've been waiting for since day one. I like the little recap they did on the arena tournament. I thought it was interesting, and I think that eventually it'll get more people involved in competing and start forming their own teams to compete and whatnot. I like how they went over which heroes were participating and who won, even the rule sets and how the tournaments were played, and I hope it's a segment that they continue to do every once in a while. A competitive scene is important for any game, and if you play a lot of For Honor, I think that you should try competing in at least one tournament to see how it goes. Even if you feel like you won't win, I think you'll still have fun competing against other high skill players where there's something on the line. If you're looking for teammates, the link to my Discord is in the description, and even if you're not looking for a teammate, there's a ton of cool people in there to talk to, like Davey, Life, Envy, Bacon, JJ, Dante, Floop, Shep, Spectre, Kevin, Ak, Wrath, Zeal, Neko, Kensei, and so on. Now that I'm done with that plug, we did get new content of the week. If you somehow haven't seen it yet, we got some new executions for Season 10. I like most of them, others not so much. This is what everyone has been waiting for, and I'm happy with them. There's a part of me really hoping that we could get another set of executions in like a month and a half, now that Yubi's done with the lower quality weekly content, but we all know how much time and effort goes into creating these, so that probably won't happen anytime soon. Season 10 is looking like it's going to be a great season. From what we can see, the new Samurai hero looks like they'll be awesome. We'll get the Lawbringer and Raider reworks that we'll finally get to see next week, and I'm really hoping that Yubi nails it with these. Lawbringer is a fan favorite and Raider is one of my favorites, and if we can have 3 great axe heroes in this game, I think we'll all be happy. I'm not sure if Centurion will get any work done to him just yet. I've seen some of you asking me, and I really don't know. Now that the new Shigoki is here, I'm not really sure what they'll do with him, as they said they were going to see what happens with Shigoki first, and that we could see some of those changes make its way on the Centurion. But honestly, now that he's here, I really don't know what they'll do with him. Shigoki works for the most part. The only huge downside is that he can't catch someone that decides to roll away from him. Maybe they'll give Sent some sort of soft feint that needs to be dodged, just like with Shugo's Demon's Embrace, to make his heavies and soft feint guard breaks a bit more threatening. My guess is they'll hold off on Centurion until Season 11, but maybe we'll see something next week. I'm not sure if both Raider and Lawbringer will receive full-blown reworks or not either. I'm sure that one of them are, and if I had to take a guess, it would be Lawbringer. I think Yubi could work with what Raider has currently in his kit by speeding up a few things, giving him some hyper armor, and changing the way his carry works. I hope I'm wrong though. I'd absolutely love for both of them to receive some new moves. We'll just have to wait until next week to find everything out. That's where we'll see all the gameplay, the new armor, maybe a new map, and of course the reworks and new hero, so be on the lookout for all of that. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. Again, I'm a bit disappointed about the responsive dialogue system being scrapped, but Honestly, maybe Yubi just couldn't find anyone to pull off what they wanted, or maybe they felt that it wouldn't be good enough. And I'd honestly rather not have it at all if it would be low quality and laughable, as For Honor's presentation is currently really good in almost every department, and you wouldn't want voices that just don't fit for the sake of having some new content thrown in. The new Samurai looks amazing, and I'm more excited for him than anything else coming to this game, although in the past I have been excited for Samurai Heroes, and look where that got me. Anyways, I do want to hear your opinions, so talk to me down in the comments about anything we talked about in this video, whether it be about the new Samurai Hero or the voice lines being scrapped. And as usual, if you agree with me or just like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.